high school and then the university, I took courses in history. And I'm not suggesting that you replicate exactly what happened over the last 110, 15 years in the state of Oklahoma and Oklahoma City. But I see some very serious errors of omission here in not realizing what happened in the past and what we really need in Oklahoma City. For example, we're talking somewhat about some light rail, and yet back, it hadn't been so many years ago, in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, we had an interurban system that linked El Reno, Guthrie, Norman, and Oklahoma City. That seems to have been completely ignored here in the, not only in your discussions, but in the discussions of people being mesmerized and fixated on Bricktown as a center of something. When we talk about, you know, are you going to use the existing COPTA bus system or bus station? And I get the impression you're just glossing over that and saying, well, we're not too interested in how the people get there. We're only going to cater and serve the people that are already downtown. We need to address not only Amtrak, high-speed rail, and completely ignored, not only in this discussion, but in other discussions that have bothered me over the last 30 and 40 years, is full transportation to and from the airport. You know, the city of Oklahoma City and the Chamber of Commerce and the state spend untold thousands of dollars, if not millions, to entice people to come to Oklahoma City. And when they get here, they don't tell them, or before they get here, they don't put the warning on the label, on the advertisement. Don't come and expect on a Sunday or a holiday and expect to use public transportation. And I feel strongly that it's a crime to do that without doing your homework and not addressing all these other issues. You need to have a completely integrated transportation hub that will bring the people from all over central Oklahoma to wherever this hub is going to be, to then put them on their transportation mode of choice or necessity. Not only choice, but of necessity, to be high-speed rail, interurban bus transportation, automobile, whatever. And I think that this has very serious areas of omission in it. And I feel very strongly about that the homework hasn't been done to really see what we need and to give us that. How do the people from northwest Oklahoma City, how the people from Edmond, how the people from Norman, how the people from El Reno, how do the people that fly into Oklahoma City, not only from the United States, but from out of the country, come here and then want to get to the various core areas of Oklahoma City, and you tell them we don't have that transportation. It's embarrassing and very bad program that you're not addressing.
I think you make some very good points. Some of those issues are parts of other studies that are informing what we. Some of those issues are parts of other studies that we're working with, such as bus rapid transit, which isn't shown on here yet. Bus routes, and we haven't gone to that level of detail because bus routes are fairly flexible, but as the gentleman in the back pointed out, we got to get people here by bus as well, and there will be some routes that will probably stop here as well as go to the transit center.
What is the time frame for your various stages? When is this plan supposed to be completed to be presented to the people of Oklahoma City?
I think the next level, when we show you here what 3 sites we would recommend moving forward in the discussion, I think early spring we want to be back looking at those 3 sites in detail and talking about, just like you said, can we accommodate all of the city buses in this location? And if we did, if we wanted to do that, how could we do that? And I hear what you're saying about the airport and all that. I'm not sure we can solve that problem and that issue in this study. And I'm not sure we're going to try to do that. I think what we want to do is, we agree, the one thing I absolutely agree on with what you said is that it's a system. And what we are trying to do, and I think Oklahoma City and this region is starting to think about and really walk the walk and talk the talk, is about the system. And think about, let's create a system that serves the entire region. And what we believe is this hub, this facility, can be the centerpiece of that. Now, how all those component parts come to it, we're going to start thinking about, and there's other studies going on that are thinking about that too. But in the early spring, we're going to come back with some ideas about how 3 sites can accommodate that in these 3 locations. And one of those maybe rise right to the top and everybody says that's it. So I'd be glad to sit with you, and I think Allan gave you my card. I'd like to talk to you about my homework assignments. I don't like doing poorly on homework assignments, so I want to talk to you about that.
I think what we can do, though, to address your concern, and will be doing, is this study is going to help inform some of those other studies, because the streetcar system has got to connect here. So if the streetcar system is not, I'm going backwards here, is not connecting to the site that we choose, we've got to work with the streetcar study to get it there. We've got to go back to the there's a bus rapid transit line that's part of the system plan that's supposed to connect downtown to the airport. Well, we've got to make sure that it connects to this hub. So some of those things we're still considering flexible, and we hope that those studies will interface with this and find ways to connect here, so it does become, as Doug said, an overall system. That's what we're really looking to do. We do one more?
Yeah, do one more, and then we'll talk about our sites.
Thank you, Senator Connie Johnson, representing District 48. And I just would like to see one of the components be the environmental impact that any of these plans will have on the outlying areas, specifically the Adventure District, if we're talking about sending a high-speed rail anywhere through northeast Oklahoma City. And then you get back to the historical aspects of what has happened in that area. For example, when Interstate 35 in the 50s ran right down the heart of a traditionally black community without any regard for the environmental impact. So I just think I would like to see an additional component be, not just for northeast Oklahoma City, but for all the outlying areas that will be environmentally affected by any of this central plan to be added to your
Good point.
considerations.
There are residual impacts beyond just the site we're looking at here. It's a very good point.
Thank you, Commissioner. Now let's talk about the 3 sites that we talked
Okay.
about.
What just came up over on the left are